this lion. He's the king of the jungle. Huge mane out there. He's laying down under a tree in the middle of Africa. He's so big. He's so hot. He doesn't want to move. Now, the little lion cubs, they start messing with him. Biting his tail, biting his ears. He doesn't do anything. The lioness, she starts messing with him, coming over, making trouble. Still, nothing. Now, the other animals, they notice this, and they start to move in. The jackals, hyenas, they're barking at him, laughing at him. They nip his toes and eat the food that's in his domain. They do this, and they get closer and closer and bolder, till one day, that lion gets up and tears the shit out of everybody, runs like the wind, eats everything in his path. Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is.
Boom.
What is happening?
What you watching? You like that?
I was watching that. Yo, that was good, bro. Popcorn's in the chat, man. I'm waiting for you, man. I got my popcorn ready.
Yeah.
Ready. I want to know what's happening. What's happening to everyone?
Wanted to shout out to my boy Briss. We give him a hard time. He did that that little video there. That was good stuff. Good stuff.
That's awesome.
Got to show the jackals who you are sometimes.
The funny is the lioness, and you see the girl, and she's like,
ladies, liquor, and leverage, right?
"Oh my god, oh my
Downfall.
god!" You tell me about it, eh?
It's truth. It's truth. It's all of our weaknesses.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. I don't know what it is. I'm just happy.
There's something in the air, that's for sure.
11
I
days
want
to
to address
Christmas.
a couple of things first before we get started. A little housekeeping. So, been on the phone all damn day since the Twitter escapade, meaning that I guess some people's Twitters have been hit by. I want everybody to understand that from what I've seen, Twitter is asking, or Twitter is letting you know that they have been. There are accounts that have been flagged so that the SEC can go to those accounts and serve their requests for information. So I want to calm everybody down because all my phone calls have been about just absolute insanity and people being very, very worried and very, very fearful. It's causing a lot of havoc in the community. And in crypto, period, such a blanket approach to doing an investigation, I think, is very reckless, very dangerous. The SEC is, in my opinion, overstepping here. They're creating a chilling effect by doing this publicly in front of everybody. They don't realize how much power they wield and what they can do to markets. I think it's disruptive. I think it's disparaging to the people who are being publicly served or put on lists and put out there that they're being served by the SEC. So I think that's doing a lot of damage. But I want everybody to understand that just because it appears that as though, and it's creating FUD, which is, we know, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in our space and in what it is that we're doing as a community, which is absolutely above the law. I mean, not above the law, within the law. That's how all of us have acted always with Hex. So I want everybody to chill and calm down and just leave the whole thing alone as far as Twitter goes. Not necessary to go and create more excitement more fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Just keep calm. This is an inquiry. They're just fishing. They're looking to find out if there is something. And we, as Hexicans and as leaders in the community and people that have been involved from the beginning, we all know that we've all acted within the, grounds of the law, meaning that there is no contracts between us and anybody that is a Hex organization. There are no payments or payouts or anybody being hired or put on a payroll to shill Hex or to pump its bags or any of that kind of stuff. We are all streaming as community members who enjoy and like what it is that we have our hands on, which is a product called Hex. And it is just that. It has nothing to do with finance. It has nothing to do with currencies. It is a cryptographic contract that we all like interacting with because of what it does. We're basically Hex collectors is what we do. And I need everybody to just calm down and not worry about things. What I did have, as far as information goes, for those of you who are concerned and want to approach us properly, if you were one of those people, we've talked to counsel, and KNTX is working on putting together a kind of a boilerplate option of a response for each of you who are inquiring, because everybody's been bombarding us today with phone calls and text messages and tweets and all that stuff. Let us put this together with the council, and those of you, please, keep reaching out to us. Let us know who you are if you need this information, and we'll give you kind of, like you said, a boilerplate blanket solution to a response and how to respond to this if you are one of those people that were served. So keep calm. Don't worry about it. We're working on something for you all, and we'll get that out as soon as possible within the next day or so. All right. So anyway, that's that. Keep it cool, fools.
Man, did you see my rant today? I just bodied every community for centralization.
Fuck all day today, man. It's just been nonstop.
I don't know if Bullish could pull it up, but basically, you know how everyone complains about anything?
About what? About anything?
I know,
Yeah, I noticed that. It's
how we're
everything.
centralized. How we're so centralized. It's like we have to be a scam because of how our holdings are set up, right? So I went and I
what's the
it.
argument for centralization of
I don't know,
Hex?
principles or crypto or some shit. So anyways, okay, well, sorry for the negative language, but I was really pumped. But if you go check all in the thread, every single picture is all the top coins. And if you go check out their top 500s, look at that token percentage. The only one that's under us is Zilliqa, but just to show you, like, what is Zilliqa? Like, no one talks about it. But anyways, you go look at all these tokens. These are like the big projects that, like, why would we invest in? We were investing in this. You guys are so whatever. Well, if you go do the actual numbers, they're all centralized. Look at that. Over 80%, all of them. Some even in the 90s, and you don't expect it. 1 inch, Sushi Swap, for days, Matic. That's everything everyone preaches, and it's like you go look at us, top 500, it's only 72%. So it's like
maybe it's because I'm not from the crypto space. I come from the real finance world into this space. So let me rephrase that. I am of this space. I was born in this space as much as long ago as anybody around here. However, I do have a longer history in the real financial world. In the real stock market, in the real way things have been done for decades and eons and whatever. And centralization has never been a problem as far as ownership goes, because it doesn't create an issue where you don't see CEOs or the big bag holders of a company dumping all of their stock. In rare, situations and that it happens when things go belly up or whatever. But the best companies, the best stocks were always centralized ownership. And crypto gets that mixed up. And that's just because they're plebs and they don't understand the real world. But centralized ownership is different than a decentralized contract. It's not the same thing. We have a decentralized contract. We have decentralized finance that we're dealing with. Yes, there is centralized ownership. And even that can be argued because nobody really knows if there is a human or if Richard himself owns the OA. All we've ever seen the OA be is a feature of Hex and not a it or a them or a him. It has always been a feature. So I think crypto gets that very, very wrong, and people need to be educated on the difference between centralized ownership and decentralized finance.
I agree. It's just funny because it's like, well, now what do you have to say? That's how I took it. I was like, well, it doesn't make sense what people are saying. And then some people want to say that we don't embody the first principles of crypto. So I was like, okay, well, what is this first principles of crypto? Because I've been high under a rock since 2013. Like, I don't know what to tell you. What is this? I thought it was all about being quiet, no one telling nothing at the beginning, and then it became like, oh, well, maybe we could come out of the closet, you know. But now it's like, oh, okay, there's apparently these principles. I'm like, okay, let's research them. Okay, in the white paper, there's these principles, but I'm assuming that's just, you're just looking at it and you're like, okay, well, that's code, that's technology, that's what it is, and you put it, and then I'm like, well, how don't we embody that? And I'm just like, okay, but how doesn't most coins embody this? So it's like, I just want people to come with better remarks, because at this point, it's getting old. It's like all they could point at is we're down. Like, what's next? Okay, well, when we're going to be up, where are they going to point at? And, the SEC, I think people need to calm down, because it's nothing bad is going to happen. I don't think anything really bad is going to happen. We're good. We know how it works. It's very transparent. I think people are just like, they're looking at it like, oh, it could be bad.
Well,
but it's the
I think the chilling effect is bad. I think that the fact that they're overreaching into a community publicly is bad for all of us, bad for the crypto that we all enjoy. It doesn't help it any, as far as, people adopting it, using it, wanting to, use the function like we do. So I think that they're doing harm to us. That's what it appears.
You think other coins, because they have foundations and stuff, that no one knows that if they're getting subpoenaed also because of this? Because it's not something, I don't think anyone could someone have just like came out and said, oh yeah, I went and researched, I went to the library and said, hey, let me check on this, and it was right there. I don't know. I'm not familiar with how it works with you guys, but I'm pretty sure, like, how do we not know that other coins are not getting it? But if they're centralized, because they are some of them are centralized with groups that do certain things that, okay, well, that's meant for that. Well, maybe they got letters. I don't know.
Well, more than likely, if they are centralized and there's companies behind them, I mean, then yeah, those companies get obviously served, just like we did. The Hex Investment Trust was served.
But no one knew. No one knew unless you said something, right? These companies don't have to say publicly that they got served. They could just take it, and then when the shit hits the fan, well, then it hits the fan. No, that's how I see it. Until then, it's like you could be quiet. You have the right to remain silent. So maybe there are people remaining silent.
Maybe, more than likely, because I think that they're like on a witch hunt right now, just because they're under the gun, which brings a good subject up, which is what the headline on our thumbnail was this whole SBF thing. They nailed him and brought him to justice, it looks like. Let's see if we got a video here.
This arrest is really the first concrete move by regulators to hold someone accountable for the multi-billion-dollar implosion of FTX last month. What we know is that SBF was taken into custody after U.S. authorities filed criminal charges against Bankman-Fried. Now, those exact charges are currently under seal. The U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York said that they would likely unseal that indictment sometime this morning. Several news outlets, including the Wall Street Journal and New York Times, are reporting the charges that they include, among other things, wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. Now, separately, the Securities and Exchange Commission says that it has initiated another set of civil charges against Bankman-Fried relating to violations of securities laws. The SEC says that those charges will also be filed publicly today in the Southern District of New York. Before all of this, we had been expecting testimony from SBF before the House Financial Services Committee during its FTX hearing at 10 a.m. Eastern time today. That's no longer happening. Instead, the Royal Bahamas Police Force says SBF will appear in magistrate court in Nassau. And Brian, that is where we stand right now.
Well, it could actually be very good timing for Mr. Bankman-Fried. I'll explain why in a few minutes, but I'm going to ask you this. Any word on when we could have an extradition, when Sam Bankman-Fried could be back on American soil?
You know, a lot of that timing depends on how well the U.S. and the Bahamas coordinate on this. And so far, all signs point to the fact that the Bahamian government is cooperating because, remember, Bankman-Fried hasn't been convicted in the Bahamas yet. He hasn't even been charged in the Bahamas yet. It was U.S. prosecutors who had to secure an arrest warrant and provide sufficient evidence to authorities in the Bahamas that Bankman-Fried had indeed committed a crime. Now, the Attorney General in the Bahamas said last night that once a formal request for extradition is made by the U.S., they have every intention of promptly moving the process along. But that extradition process, even when everyone is in agreement, doesn't always move quickly. I spoke with a former federal prosecutor who says that, this can take weeks to complete, in part because we don't know whether SBF will fight extradition. But this attorney also made the point that the Justice Department would not have charged this case unless they were quite confident that they could extradite him. So things are moving along here.
All right. He will eventually get to the United States soil. I'm sure there's just some deals they've got to make out, whatever it may be. All right. So once he is back in the United States, Mackenzie, how soon could we be looking at a trial? Are there other legal blowbacks we should be talking about? And oh, yes. What about one Caroline Ellison, his apparent former girlfriend, the runner of the hedge fund? She's not out of the woods yet, but we haven't heard a lot on her side.
Yeah. So to your first point, extradition is the first step in a process that could take years to finish. Given the magnitude of Bankman-Fried's alleged crimes, prosecutors and regulators will be pursuing concurrent cases around the world. I spoke to one lawyer who said that a trial in the U.S. may not occur for years because essentially the more that they charge, the bigger the cases, the more time they're going to need to get it all in motion. One person thought that late 2023 was the earliest a trial would occur. Now, in the meantime, Bankman-Fried is also facing civil action, which could be brought by the SEC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and or state banking and securities regulators, not to mention all those class action suits that have already been filed.
So here's what happened. It was like
he made the video like that. He had paparazzi. He hired paparazzi. What is that?
Who knows, man?
How did he just walk and just?
Well, so here's what had to happen. So the U.S., in order to get this extradition, what they have to do is they have to bring charges. Yeah. And they got to be very careful with it. And, legal stuff it takes time. And that's, everyone's like, wow, they just arrest this guy. If you fuck it up, then you fuck it up in the future. So because he's going to get great lawyers and they're going to try and get him off of, whatever it is that he did. And if they get any technicalities, anything wrong, then the guy gets off. So what they've done is they threw the book at him, because when you extradite somebody, in this case, the extradition comes with charges. Now, you can only charge that person that you've extradited with the charges. You can only bring him to trial with the charges that you put on that extradition. So they couldn't just say, hey, we want to get him for money laundering or whatever. So they had to put everything up there and make sure that they got him, so that when it comes time, they're not going to make some mistakes. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
That's crazy. All right, guys. This is in this moment. You know what? I wanted to take the time to do something, and now I got it. So you know what? It's perfect. So I wanted to talk about how December and the time of the holidays is probably one of the times the most depressing for people who are depressed. The people that are happy, by all means, go enjoy your life. But just remember, guys, when we're in this month, when you're being mean or when you're trying to be like, a tough guy or something with someone, just remember that during this time, people are, if they're depressed, it's probably the most depressing time for them. And as Hexicans, it's very important for your mental health to understand that you can't continue this path of crypto without understanding that, you got to be in a good place. And if you see someone, and I'm really speaking to those on Twitter, everyone on YouTube, I know you might not be that toxic, but the people on Twitter, if you see someone, just be nice, be extra happy, retweet your fellow Hexicans, all the efforts they do. There's so many people putting posts of, they might post posts with family and loved ones. Just be nice, give an extra good positivity, because it's the time of the season, man. And whether you're whatever religion or whatever, just remember this time is one of the hardest times for certain people. So just be nice to one another. Just remember that.
Yeah, I'm glad I stepped right in the middle of that. 100, man. I've been in the recovery business and world for many years, and this is the hardest time for people who have had hard times. So if you've ever had to be out on the street, or you've lost people in your life, this is like a real hard time for folks. And take care of your fellow man right now. It's everybody deserves to feel good at this time.
Be extra nice.
I like that message.
For sure.
Right? 'Tis the season. Is that what it is? 'Tis the season.
'Tis the season to be jolly. But yeah, man, honestly, I've been looking at stuff to just see. I think everything's cool. We're still, top DeFi list. You look at the market. I'm looking at liquidities. Everything looks the same. Everything on Uniswaps, it's dipping, but we're going up. So I don't see any signs of slowing down in the actual.
It's dipping, but we're going up.
Yeah, but like we're still on that trend. It's like Hex. It's like we're down, but we're still going up. And like
yeah,
look at the linear graph. So we're still on momentum.
I'm surprised that. Well, I'm not surprised because I've got a theory also on this. So the SBF FTX crap hits, and really we don't see a big market change, right? So I think that everybody got word and wind of it before. Obviously, that $2 trillion worth of market cap that left the system knew what was about to happen. And that's why all of this was going down, So they got the bailout. So let's take a look at that, crypto folks. The people that pulled their money out before all this thing sank. So guess what? They dumped on your heads. Once again, you got dumped on your heads by the exchanges, the people in the exchanges, the people in the know, all those people that had their hands into this thing, all these people that were connected to that, little piece of shit. They were the ones that dumped on your heads and screwed up your crypto game once again. And they're the people that were screaming and yelling about who we were and what we were doing. They were the people that when I went to Washington, D.C. 8 months ago and came back and reported that, hey, guys, we got a problem. The exchanges are about to eat our lunch. The exchanges are putting a lot of money into D.C. Well, guess what? Now we found out where that money was coming from. Go look at my old streams when I was talking about D.C. That's what was going on out there. The exchanges were dumping money into those coffers, and it was this son of a bitch that was doing it. And he was part of it anyway. There's a lot more than that little moron involved. That's for damn sure. And that's what needs to be uncovered, because they're going to use this sorry son of a bitch as a scapegoat, which whatever, he deserves to have himself rattled and aired out. Do it. Great. Make a martyr, make a example of him or whatever. But there's other people that got away with this. There's other people that aren't going to be the face of it, that dumped their money, that were involved with him, or that helped him to freaking pull this shit off. And all that money at the top of the market got out and dumped on your heads. And that's why you're sitting on a 90% dip right now. So keep that in mind. And as crypto puts itself back together, as DeFi starts to take its place, Pulse Chain comes out, we have real DeFi, adoption starts to come. We start to really get to do crypto like crypto's supposed to be done. Keep in mind that whenever you see centralization to that magnitude, when somebody asks you to give up your keys for something, when something seems too good to be true, believe that it is. It's too good to be true. And they're going to end up ripping you off.
Oh yeah,
They're going to try this
so
thing
true.
again, man. They're going to
So
try
true.
it again.
And if you go look at the system, like I was looking at it, and it's really weird because if you go look at USDT, USDC, DAI, most of the liquidity, most of lock liquidity, most of TVLs are all in those coins. So right now, DeFi is being controlled 50-50, 50 by us, 50 by them, because all deployers, exchanges, and all that shit own that shit. And they're right now, like, in my opinion, it's like Ethereum is very, like people say, it's very centralized. But like when I look at it, I'm like, but the liquidity is very centralized, because it's like, what are the chances that these people are not doing liquidity? And you look at, like I said, stable coins. Reason why I don't like stable coins is if you go look at how they're set up for the amount that there is, someone owning 50% of it is a lot of fucking money. That's a lot of fucking money. And if all the contracts, all the deployers have that, then literally the liquidity on ETH is being ran by admin keys. Because if you go look at ETH, it's not that much. It shouldn't be that much. It can't be. It's not. It can't be that much. It can only be like 10% of the ETH.
Well, we're doing the same. It's funny. The same tricks. Human nature is human nature. Like fractional reserve banking, leveraging, leverage. One of the L's. Leveraging is human nature, and that's what they do. Is, well, we can make more money and we can make this look bigger and we can market better if we just leverage a little, if we just take a little risk here, if we just fool everybody just a little bit, and then that turns into, oh my gosh, that was very successful. Let's keep doing it. Let's crank it even some more until they end up getting themselves in trouble. And then the bank runs happen, the big guys get out, the bank runs happen, all that kind of shit. And then you're in trouble. You're upside down and people get hurt. And that's what we saw here. And we've got to stop that. We've got to stop giving middlemen our crypto. We've got to quit doing it. We have to all own our own crypto. And there is going to have to be some type of regulation at the spigot, is my guess. And I'm hoping that that's what we see, is regulation at the spigot and not regulation of the crypto itself, because there's no need for that. The need is to, if they want to regulate money laundering and all that, I mean, fine, have at it. I understand that, but don't regulate the cryptos. Just regulate the spigots.
But then you get into the problem that if this is how I see it. It's like, well, if everyone has it and no one has it centralized, then how are you going to buy it? You're going to have to pay a premium, like it did once upon a time. If everyone has it and there's not a place where you could go and get it for no premium, if you want it, I'm going to look at it and say, well, why would I trade it to you at 16K if no, you can't get it anywhere? I'll sell it to you for 20. You can't get it anywhere. You know what I mean? So the more you create that need for P2P, the more you're going to get these outrageous prices. And then you're not going to have a very solid, valuable coin. Yeah, it'll be whatever people want to sell it for. And then is there really a constant value? No, I don't think there would be if that's the case. It's like, okay, well, let me sell a garage sale style. Yeah. But I think these exchanges are needed. Man, I know a lot of people don't give a shit, but it's like, man, what about CBDCs? I don't see the problem in CBDCs, man. I really don't. It's like, after working for a bank, I don't see the problem. What's the difference? What's the difference?
It's the sketchiness of everybody in this space.
If anything, they have no choice but to be more transparent, unless they create a blockchain that is not transparent. If they have to come on this side of the field, we win. Why? Because it's transparent. There's no way for them not to be transparent. They're gonna have to be bad actors, and then what?
Once they start playing, then they've admitted.
But if you ever worked for a bank, whoever works for a bank can tell you it's awful. They could just boom. The government says, close that motherfucker's account. Okay, sure, no problem. Yeah, no problem. It's closed.
Hold on one second again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Listen, like I don't know how it works with you guys, but there's places in the world you do something wrong, they close your fucking account. You don't have a limit of $3,000 on your debit card. You ain't spending your money. You didn't call 3 days before, but you're on a flight. You can't take out your 25 grand and leave. You don't have $12,000 on your credit card because you got a $10,000 limit. You can't buy the fucking car. Like it doesn't make sense to me how the CBDCs are going to control us. How is it not controlling you already? Try and live without credit. Go, tell me, try. You must live like a boondock. No credit. What do you mean? If you're rich, you have credit. You're poor, you have credit. Everyone has credit. You don't have. It's like having an email. You need a credit card. How are you gonna get a hotel? How are you gonna do anything? Doesn't make sense. So it's like, I feel like CBDCs doesn't make a difference. It's like, oh well, they have an admin key. Well, shit, doesn't the bank have an admin key on your bitch ass? I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just saying it from my Canadian side, where I know these guys in my wallet. I have a fucking admin key to each one. That's why I have like 6 accounts. When one goes down, I work for one, guys. I'm telling you, this shit is whack. How can CBDCs be that bad? I just think about it. It's you get the transparency. Okay, they have admin keys. Fuck, your fiat has admin keys. How does your fiat have admin keys? Well, isn't there people? Don't you hear people saying, "Well, I can't make the transaction every time I try, my bank blocks it." There you go, admin keys. Enjoy.
Well, I always thought or knew that this CBDC type of situation, and of course it's a scary name in crypto, was going to have to step in and take the place of the stables, because the stables ain't so stable. And who do we trust? Do we trust these entities running these stable coins, or do we trust the banks and the governments? That's a hard one for crypto folks. That's a real hard one. I have my opinion, but
well, we kind of like.
I'm kind of with you, man. That
I know.
I just don't know. I just don't know what it should absolutely look like at this point. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of nuances here that need to be worked out, and regulation's coming, whether we like it or not. I think that they're having trouble figuring out how to do it because of the decentralization. So I think that's the biggest problem, is they don't know how to treat cryptos like Hex. They don't understand. They think that, okay, there's only one crypto, Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum, because we gave it a pass. They don't understand how to deal with things like Hex, because there's 99% of them out there. All they got to do is go, nope, 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 cross them off the list. But there are some out there that they can't deny. And they've got a lot of their citizenry that they're attempting or trying to claim that they're helping, that they're going to fuck if they do, regulate out of existence some of these cryptos. So what's up, Bullish?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something to the convo. So there is a regulation already on the table, and at the moment, and I know this because anybody who knows or heard me, my wife is a big willy when it comes to compliance, AML, KYC, and stuff like that. So she's already aware of the 2 bills on the table, and one of them is specifically for stables, and the other one has to do with digital assets. So the holdup right now is that agencies are infighting to figure out who's going to regulate. So that's the only thing holding it up right now. So I would say, like, by the end of first quarter, it's it's going to be voted on, and
perfect.
We'll have no choice. And what she thinks is going to happen is, as far as the CBDC goes, they're going to regulate stables. So stables are not really going to disappear, but they're going to change what backs them. And that's how they might force CBDCs. Because remember, CBDC stands for central bank digital coins. So it's a bank-to-bank, currency per se. So stables will still exist, but the way they're backed will probably change.
Yes, I agree. I think that's where they're going to start, and then they're going to have to come up with some type of litmus test for what a crypto should be that's not a security. And that's going to have to, that's going to bring up an interesting argument about securities and what a security really is. Because there's actually laws being put on the books right now in California. They're trying to create a law that makes, that gets rid of this old, Howey test thing, to where why can't everybody invest in these things? Why do we have to have an accredited investor? Why do you have to be an accredited investor? Why are you cutting people out of the mix? So there is a law trying to be put on the books in California to get rid of that whole thing. So it's coming. There's a lot of different angles that play to our favor, where people are coming at this. The SEC is weak right now. Gensler looks like he may be out by the beginning of the year, first quarter. Yeah, it's looking really rough. This whole XRP Ripple thing that they did is looking really bad for them. They may even lose this thing, and if that happens, it's not going to play well. And then when it comes down to it, of course, this FTX thing, like we just heard there, they're probably not going to bring case up to this cat until the end of 23. So you sit in jail for a year and a half. They're going to talk about this crap for a year and a half. And we're going to see another bull market between then, because it'll all calm down and it'll all start to get litigated. People will start talking about it, and they're going to spend another year fiddle fucking around with it and fiddle fucking around with CBDCs. And they're going to try and come out with some type of law. And we're going to end up with a bull run right in the middle of it all. And then when they do finally get their shit together, will probably be the beginning of the next, bear market.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
I just see like I see the potential to create like a new layer between, because I've always seen this like different, there's like a wall where it's like real world IRL and crypto. IRL and crypto, and the banks, if they were to create that CBDC, I see them being able to have their own liquidity properly on chain and creating their own coin with these coins that are going to be regulated, that have these admin keys for purposes of X purpose. And I see there being the potential of having like customer service, where it's like, well, someone robbed me. Oh, okay. Well, you could prove it. Yeah. Okay. We could prove it. Okay. We'll take back the coins. There's a mistake on the account. I want to cancel. Okay. We'll take back the coins. And it's all on chain. I don't see why that can't exist. I don't see why, if we're transitioning, right? Because like, there's two ways to handle this, and the way I see it is either we go rebellious and we go vigilante and we just say fuck it, let's never fucking adopt economics and just deal with it and become this cryptocurrency rebellious asset that doesn't
regulate us out of existence.
They'll make it illegal and then we'll go to war about it, in my opinion. But
you'll have to move out of the country or your country of choice to go and do crypto somewhere else.
Or they create this middle ground where it's like, yeah, you could venture, but you have no assurance. You can venture in here and have insurance. But then it's like, well, all you need to do is create liquidity. But then you have that point where it's like, well, you have admin keys. People might not like that, but if you go look at what's happening right now, most of the liquidities are made with admin keys.
Mm-hmm.
There's admin keys, USDC, USDT. Apparently, there's these admin keys.
And we've been okay with those things, right?
Uniswap has admin keys. Uniswap has admin keys.
Yeah, nobody's cared. Nobody said anything about it. Nobody's been a purist DeFi only, crypto fucking cypherpunk. And when it came to all that shit,
I don't know. In my opinion, it's like, I think we need to be more objective of what's happening. And I just see it like, oh, what's the worst that's going to happen? They have a coin that they could take it away from you. Okay, well, then don't have it. But but imagine they have the Chase coin or the JP Morgan coin. Or like for me, they have the RBC coin or the TD coin, or they have the Santander coin. Like, why not? If anything, easier to prove the backing because it's like, did you send us this coin? Yeah, we did. Our client did from the bank. Okay, cool. Well, it's actually easier, and you can see it all on chain. So I don't know. Maybe it could actually help us by having these CBDCs where it forces the businesses to not be able to do all these shady shit because we see it. You know, it might be like sometimes I always say this. Sometimes the bad decisions could be the best decisions for us. Sometimes the good decisions are not the best. Could give us the wrong decision. Can give us the worst outcome. And that's how it is, but that's consequences. And I think the consequences of our actions right now is like everyone wants these coins that are like, why do you want it? It doesn't make sense. I don't see the purpose of stables. If people say, oh yeah, we do, you need it. Well, why? It's a ratio. When you have a liquidity pool, if we see stables that depeg, well, why do they depeg? Because it's a ratio. So if you're just using it because you like how it keeps your ratio, well, then imagine if they didn't exist, people would never be dumping assets. The power would be going from one to the other, to the other, to the other, and it would just keep moving, and the ratios would just constantly change. I'm telling you, there has to be like some sort of middle ground where it's like, yeah, we could let them come. People don't realize this. It's like there's billions of dollars in this. You think the banks could just come in and take $1 billion worth of Ethereum? You think, how hard do you think that is, guys? Like they're gonna come in here and they're not gonna be able to. They're not gonna be able to not make us rich. If you hold, you're gonna get rich. Why? Well, because they're gonna have to come get your coins at one day. It's like owning most of the land in an area where it's going to get constructed. It's like at one point, someone's going to come for your land and say, I want to buy this off of you. So I just think that it's like, well, at some point, if they want to control, they're going to need to take. And
yeah, politically, I'm like apolitical. I don't hold politics in high regard as far as red, blue, middle, green, all that crap. It doesn't make sense to me because human beings are human beings, and we all have our differences and our likes and our desires and our wants, and most of them are the same. We're mostly in alignment with one another. A lot of times the problem is the method in which we get to that goal that we all want. I have a little more faith in our systems than a lot of these people in the space, in the Twitters and in the crypto space do. We've got a lot of doomsdayers. We've got a lot of preppers. We've got a lot of fucking anti-government establishment folks. I mean, look, I was a Marine, so I stood on the wall for my country, and I am just not a conspiracy theory. Fucking everything in the whole government needs to be flushed down the toilet and all that bullshit. I believe in my country. I believe in the people that stand for this country. I believe in people that fought for this country, and I don't know what the rest of the world feels and all, but that's who I am. I'm a fucking patriot, and I put my life in harm's way for everybody here, for all of them to have the rights that they have today. So I don't think that we're going to fail. I don't think that it's a doomsday situation here like a lot of people think. And if you do, go move somewhere else. Let us fix this thing. The things that we do have to fix is we've got to fix the money, and we've got to get it out of the hands of the people that are trying to make more of it and hurt all the rest of us with it. And that means that they're sticking it in our political system and trying to do things like we just saw. They were trying to win favor. Now, look, the government, everybody was saying the government wants to shut down crypto. The government's coming after crypto. Bullshit. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing with crypto. I'm telling you, I was down there. I'm listening to these people. They don't know what the fuck crypto is, let alone they want to tear it down. They're not capable of it. It was Mr. Fried and his buddies that were sticking money in their pockets, getting favorable legislation to make it to where they can make more money and get away with more shit and continue doing what they were doing. That's what was happening here. It wasn't the big government trying to mess with us like everybody was yelling and screaming and talking about.
They got played.
And now they're trying to make
now they're trying to take action. And then if they take too much action, then people are going to turn around and say, hey, what do you mean? Like, why are you getting so mad? You just, and that's why they're going to get mad, and they're just going to be like,
this cat in Texas this Beto guy in Texas, they gave him $1 million. The dude had to give it away to charity. It looked so bad. Like, he's like, oh shit, I can't have this blood money on my hands. And he gave it away to charity. That's what these cats are doing now. They didn't know what they were doing. People were just, this guy's just throwing money at him going, hey, just remember me one day. You know, one day I might ask you for a favor, you know? So I'm going to give you this. And one day I may need to call upon you for a favor. You know, and that's what was happening, man. That's what was happening. And,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly. Thanks, Jesse, man, for the for the $20. And again, and the captain has 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Yeah, man, I'm standing on solid ground, is what it is, bro. I do have 1 foot in. I got a foot in everything because I'm in the human race. I'm with the normal people out here, with the regular folks trying to make things happen. And I know for a fact that no matter how many guns and how badass I am, I ain't fighting the U.S. government. I ain't going to pull up arms against them and win. I know that that's not what's going to happen. I've got to do it the right way. And the right way is we've got to legislate our way out of our problems that we have. Screaming and crying and eating shit and barking at the moon and yelling everything's all fucked up, wham, 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 isn't what's going to fix it. Getting up off of your dumb dead asses and going and fixing the things that are broken is what's going to fix this stuff. And that means, number one, go and fix your government because you think your government's fucked up. Go run yourself. Go see what you can do to get rid of Citizens United so that money's not taking control of your government versus you and your vote, which is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the people are supposed to have the power. Our vote's supposed to have power. Guess what? Don't no more. Citizens United fucked that up for you. So go fix Citizens United. You know, I'm the one out here screaming about it, trying to show you guys what's fucked up and what's not fucked up. And it's not your conspiracy theory bullshit. You don't need a bug out bag. You need to go fix the country you live in now. Fix it. Get up off your ass and quit crying about it. Sick and tired of all the crying, all the fucking conspiracy theories. Oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this, they're doing that. They want you to take a jab. They want you to do that. Fucking shut up and go do something. Jeez. So anyway, and get off my soapbox. I just get frustrated because you know, like you're saying, hey, well, why is this so bad? Let's make things happen. You know, let's give Scooter a chance and let's see what their CBDCs can do. You know, and if we don't like it, we reject them. We don't use it.
Why do you have to use it?
You don't have to. You don't.
Well, the solution that they're going to do is say, okay, well, you can't buy crypto with your bank. And then what are you going to do? You're fucked.
Yeah, then what are you going to do? You're fucked.
You
got to go move to some other country.
You're going to have citizenship somewhere else. You're going to have to buy crypto like you buy fucking cocaine. Like, you're going to have to fucking find someone. I don't know what to tell you. So it's like, might as well have the CBDC, no? If they're going to ban everything and you're going to have to move country, well, fuck, take the CBDC. As long as you can end up going, as long as they allow you to go to something where they don't control, well, then fuck, we win. It's the same. It's this. I think it's just an extra door. It's just one extra door that could be locked. That's it. Well, hopefully, it's just okay. Sucks for you. I don't know what to say. Like sometimes it's like if you have $10 million, we'll move. I don't know what to tell you. Go live, move, and then go back and live. There's so many solutions.
It's not easy, man.
It is though, because people just don't want to get off their ass and figure it out.
So you and I are obviously we're in different places in life. So let me explain like my situation. So as crypto changed my life, I said, okay, well, what's gonna be the most benefit for me and my family? And I said, well, I'd like to pay less taxes and have more benefits and use more of my crypto. So I looked at the Puerto Rico, option. So studied it, looked at it for a whole year, hired a guy down there, had 2 CPAs down in Puerto Rico taking care of my businesses and everything. And so it was time to make that decision. So I packed up the family and we jumped on a jet plane. We went out to Puerto Rico. We landed. And from the moment we hit the ground until the time we left, my wife was having nothing to do with it. She's like, I'm not raising our kids out here. This is not where we're going to be living. It's way too far away from home, from family. And, you know, and we were there the weekend we were there. Some fucking guy got rolled, killed, and burned in his minivan while we were there. And it was like, God damn it, man. Of all, you know, I'm still trying to sell this thing, and there's crypto guys getting murdered. And then we've lost four crypto guys here mysteriously in the last year. And 2 of them were rolled up on the beaches in Puerto Rico. So I wasn't able to make that decision to go do that. To my dismay,
I have a solution when people are ready to listen. That's it. I have a solution. It's very
now the next one is Portugal. You can go to Portugal. I've heard about Portugal being very nice, but you know what? I do. I'm a patriot, man. I love my country. I just don't want to leave my country. And if it costs me to live here, if it costs me to be part of this thing,
well, you could still do it.
Be it.
But that's what I don't understand. What people don't understand, you could still do it. You could still do it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to give up. So anyways, we could do this another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about it another time. That's a good conversation to have.
You should actually have him on when everything occurs, because he's actually going through the guy giving alpha, one of the guys from the spaces, he's actually going through it as an American. He does a remote job. He's getting a remote D7 visa. So that's a digital nomad visa. And he's going to be able to live.
Cool.
And he's going to have
Let's save that for another show.
100%.
Let's save that for another show.
We're just letting everyone know.
Awesome.
You know? Yes, sir.
Yes. Right on. Well, hey, man, we went way past our half hour. We did a whole hour.
It's the Christmas. It's time of giving, man.
Christmas special. And we're going to have a Christmas special, right?
I think it's next week. 21st.
Yeah, I got to read the night before Hexmas.
Yeah, that will be the 21st next show.
Nice. Well, we will do that. And then of course, this Friday is the FN Hangout. So we'll be doing the FN Hangout.
Yes, sir.
And you're right, Brasology. I got to take him out to lunch like every month or so just to make sure he's okay. Go check on him. Like having lunch with Brasology. That's my little buddy right there. and this guy here. So this guy here. Oops, I missed it. There we go. I enjoy being a pirate and living in every country a little bit. So A-Bit, for those of you who don't know, he's with the Crypto Spawbuck team, and these guys have been with us. They're OGs. They've been with us from the beginning. But the first year of Hex, after the big payday, they went around the United States, driving around and having events and showing people how to get into Hex, and just did a whole tour. And then they're still out there doing it. And he lives abroad. He lives everywhere. But him and Patrick, they live all over the world. And man, it's awesome that they can do that. And if I was a single guy, man, I would take up Puerto Rican citizenship and I would be living around the world, or I'd be in Portugal and I'd be moving around the world. Well,
you can just take your car. Once you're there, you take a car, go to Spain, continue. You're in France. You can take a plane. You're in fucking Greece, Italy. Fuck, man.
Yeah. If I was single, didn't have kids, I would 100% be doing that. I would be a nomad. I would be all over the world right now.
And then if you really have guts, you go to Dubai and you open up a business. You have this much tax, 0. Or you could go to this other place. I forget now. We could go look
Puerto
it up.
Rico
We could do it nice. Well, yeah.
We'll do a whole show on this.
But that's options, right? If people want different options, because it might get really bad, man.
Yeah, and the one thing that I wouldn't do is give up my citizenship, or and at this point, because of my family, I wouldn't be rolling around anywhere. It's just not in the cards. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming. We appreciate you all. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. And don't forget to meet us, join up with us on the FN Hangout. And Phamous has the Twitter spaces going all the time. Tell everybody what the Twitter spaces.
100% at Hex all day. Go check it out. CryptoToLearn.com. If you ever need any mobile onboarding needs, go check it out, guys. Come show us some love. It's been pretty dead lately. I hope everyone's having a good time. I'm busy. I know it's busy. Everyone's getting their bonus. Everyone's finishing work before their Christmas vacations. Enjoy it. Stay safe.
Yes, sir.
Stay safe. It's getting cold for people in the north. Me, I'm freezing my ass off. So stay cozy.
And be good to your fellow humans.
100%. Be nice to everyone.
'Tis the season, guys. We'll see you.
Get this lion. He's the king of the jungle. Huge mane out there. He's laying down under a tree in the middle of Africa. He's so big. He's so hot. He doesn't want to move. Now, the little lion cubs, they start messing with him. Biting his tail, biting his ears. He doesn't do anything. The lioness, she starts messing with him, coming over, making trouble. Still, nothing. Now, the other animals, they notice this, and they start to move in. The jackals, hyenas, they're barking at him, laughing at him. They nip his toes and eat the food that's in his domain. They do this, and they get closer and closer and bolder, till one day, that lion gets up and tears the shit out of everybody, runs like the wind, eats everything in his path. Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is.